Let's talk about the PLAATO keg. Hello and welcome back. What I have here is the PLAATO Keg Management System. You guys, a lot of you may already have this already. It's been out for a number of months already. Haven't had a chance to do a video about it until now. In fact, I've been procrastinating, of course. I've been quite busy this spring. But it's basically a fancy scale that you put your keg on. And also your CO2 bottles is an option too to track leakage in your CO2 tanks, but that's a topic for another day. I haven't done that. What I did use this for was for its primary purpose, which was to maintain tabs on how full your keg is, right? So what this really is a fancy scale that you put the keg on top of and you tear it just like you would any other scale. You fill it with the beer and you put it in your fridge and you calibrate it with the app on the phone. So you can have an app that will go on your phone or your iPad, whatever you have, your tablet, and you can actually track the fullness of the beer keg. So you always know how percent full it is, as well as whenever somebody pulls a beer off your kegerator, you'll get notified. That's an option. Which is kind of nice if you're curious who's drinking your beer while you're not home, right? So it's kind of cool too. Now, I've had this for a while, just finally get around to doing a video on it. In fact, I've actually had a prototype version of this thing for a much longer while, going back for more than a year ago, I believe. And I was using this for a while, and you know, it's come a long way. You can kind of see where it started with the prototype. It had it's just a 3D printed model part, right, with some load sensors on the bottom and a USB port setting in the front there. Well, the final version is much more sleek. It's a lot thinner, right, and it's polished. It's real nice. It's got the pads on the bottom, whereas the prototype did not. And it's much more sleek, and they worked out some of the kinks that actually I was having with the original prototype. And a reason why I didn't do a video on the prototype is that I had some issues with it back at the time I was using it, and I wasn't really quite happy with doing a video on it yet until the kinks were worked out. It does look like they did work out the kinks of this thing, and it's actually a very nice thing, especially if you want to check on the percent fullness of your keg. Comes with an app that again will track your percent full. You can calibrate it. It'll actually measure temperature. I think, it measures temperature inside your fridge for you, and it was great. It actually worked pretty well. I mean, there's some calibration involved, some adjustments, some inputs, and the output of the app and the scale really based upon your inputs, which is sort of the term GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, right? So you got to make sure. That's one of the nuances with this system. It is a scale. You got to calibrate it. But once you get it calibrated, you get your keg on there and you use it. It works pretty darn well, and I'm actually very impressed. It comes with a long cable, a flat USB cable that plugs into a port on the top of this thing here. So this thing goes in something like this. Yeah, so it just sort of snaps in the top there, and the cord goes out, and it's a USB cable, right? So you'll have to go ahead and have a outlet or a power source that this can plug into, and you can snake this through the seam in your fridge door and maintain it that way. So that's what I did. I actually have a little outlet off to the side here. I had like an outlet adapter that I used to plug it into, and it worked great. Now, some downsides to this thing were, well, the height again, right? So although it's pretty thin compared to the original prototype, depending on the fridge or kegerator you may have a little height clearance issue. My kegerator is one of those Keglin Series 4, I think it is, kegerators. I did a video on that a while back, and and I also used some secondary regulators by GovReg on top of this thing. I did a video on that as well too, right? So that added a little extra height to the headspace, where the height requirement for the keg and the gas hose, right? And then this actually just encroached on it a little bit more, because it had to sit on top and raise up off the bottom of the kegerator, making it really difficult to get the keg in to the kegerator. And I actually had to wiggle it in like almost perfectly sideways. I couldn't just toss it in and off we went. So a little bit of a challenge getting in there, but you and your fridge or your keys probably won't even have a problem with this, as long as you have the height clearance there. It still worked for me. It's just, it was a bit of a challenge to get it in there, and I'm about to use it again for my next batch of beer here. So I'm going to keep using this because I think it's pretty cool. It's technology, right? And you even, oh, and it's also like it's also cloud enabled, so you don't have to be home to see it on your phone. You can actually get it from anywhere. It just goes out to the cloud, and you'll get notified if something's wrong. One of the other uses I have not yet done, again, is the CO2 test case, where you can put your CO2 bottle on top of this thing and calibrate it for that. So if there's any leak in your gas system, it'll tell you, because it'll tell you that you're losing weight, basically, so you're losing gas, and that's another application that is out there for that. So overall, I'm happy with it. I like it, and it's pretty cool. You know, if this floats your boat and you're looking for a way to manage or track how full your kegs are without having to pull them out of the keg and rock them, this would be one. It's really great. I like it, and there you go. So thanks for watching. If you're a new viewer or not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I do DIY cooking, brewing, winemaking videos, and the like. So if that kind of stuff appeals to you, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, if you like the video, give me that like button, and I will talk to you all next time.